Hello, all. We are back. Thanks for waiting while we got our refreshments. We're back to find out after the queen has just worn away all that you are, what is left. So yeah, I think I'm the next card. So let's do that thing. Oh, I need to flip over to the screen. Click on the thing. You arranged. Oh no!
Oh
How
no!
dare you?
Oh my gosh.
You arranged for the queen to be ambushed on this journey. What did they offer you?
Not an airlocking.
Dang.
Ooh. Man, I'm contemplating exiting this card. I don't know that I could ever do that, but no,
Or you can pass it and see if someone else wants to have.
yeah, I want to know your answer to it, but I can't pass it to you. No.
No, you can't.
Um,
To be fair, Lily can.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just keep passing it along.
Do whatever feels best, but
yes, I think wherever it ends up, I think this is the right quest. This is the right option. Lily, I would like to hear your answer to this question.
Okay. I think the offer that I got man. I don't know, I got a pretty sweet gig right now.
It's hard, right? I mean, even when
Yeah.
she's airlocked you, it's pretty hard to imagine turning on Darth Vader, Pope Nebula, immortal baby daddy queen, right?
especially when you're like, well, I know why I got airlocked.
Like, Okay. What I was offered. Okay, I got it. I can flip this. I got this.
Yes, you do.
I was offered intel. Basically, this war has multiple fronts. One of our fronts offered me intel on another one of our enemies. And so I took it because I thought it would be it would look really good in the queen's eyes for me to be like, oh, I know what we ambushed. That's really bad. But look, we can keep the war going. Look at this. Look at this information. Isn't this so good? Wasn't I so helpful?
Hold on now. So you're just saying you just slipped a little oh, hey, look, I got some intel. Yeah, I'm sorry we got ambushed. That was part of the cost of
I'm
it.
not saying it's a good plan.
Okay. Where along the timeline is this plan? Have we haven't been ambushed yet, or have we?
I don't think we've been ambushed yet. I think what happened, basically, I don't know if this was the latest one, the one where we kind of just violently took them or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think in one of my cultural attaché voyages or whatever, super secret spy style, I got dragged somewhere and was like, look, I'm going to give you this data chip and it's got intel on this other place. But you have to you just leave the kitchen chip in a vulnerable place at some point. And it was a very rushed yeah, okay, fine. Because I was like, oh well, it'll be fine. What are they gonna do? I guess we'll see what they'll do. But
so in your mind, you haven't betrayed the queen.
In my mind, no. It was in her best interests.
The
Is
ends
this
justify.
Yes, absolutely.
Is this the first time you've had a plan like this?
Probably something this drastic. Like, I think I probably am a very ends justify the means kind of person. And I think this is the biggest instance of that happening, where it was like enough that you could argue that I betrayed her. I suppose.
I mean that's an argument that someone might make. Yes,
If
that's
you
an argument the queen might make.
Some might see it that way. I
Yeah.
see it as the
Opportunity.
opportunity. The bloody chalice half full.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not saying I'm a very smart chef.
I think it's hilarious that like there's two very powerful, potent characters, right? Like Alex and Ben are playing like this like very important priest that's had like a child with the queen and like this very important high bastard. You're like, I'm the chef. I'm the chief cook, and I'm the one who arranged the sabotage.
Yep.
I think I'm a triple agent, but really just
just stuff. When
Stuff.
I'm just trying to help.
When you're a cultural ambassador, you got some perks. One of those perks is betrayal. No,
Right, it's meeting with the other side. Yeah,
I think I missed that perk as a cultural ambassador.
Yeah.
Getting information, and maybe you leave the kitchen ship in a vulnerable spot. Who knows? Whatever. So anyways, let's not talk about betrayal.
So anyways, moving on.
All
right.
So
Ben's card.
We passed that card to Lily. So okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I might get airlocked. Who knows? But
Yeah, it's not that bad. Terrible.
The queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved. Who? What happened?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. I think it was actually the cousin that I grew up with on my homeworld. I think that there were cross purposes. I think that the cousin and I grew to do very different things, and I think that we ended up on different sides of the conflict. I think that at the time that we were younger, our world hadn't yet been swept up in all of this, and sort of loosely had connections with two different sides in this conflict. And I think that what ended up happening is that I sort of stumbled into this role. I was trying to go to school somewhere in the Empire, maybe even on the Throne World, and just found that I was good with this sort of thing, with people and negotiations and terms, and sort of rose very quickly. And on the other hand, I think that my cousin ended up involved with intelligence for the other side. And I think that the queen possibly didn't even know that we were related, but because both my cousin and I were good at what we did, the cousin became a public figure of punishment in the conflict. It's sort of a very, like, instead of it being sort of a we've caught and dealt with, it became a very high profile, this is what we do to invaders, this is a sign of what happens when you work clandestinely against it. It sort of became that it became the example. It was that example of if somebody is just stubbornly resisting and we don't feel like there's a reason, then she's going to go ahead and bring the hammer down. And it was sort of a like, we've presented our terms, we've made our cases. I may even have been involved with that. And then the discovery that the cousin was an operative that had infiltrated into the Empire meant that they had to be dealt with publicly and quickly and loudly. And it hasn't sat well with me, even though I understand.
Was that the diplomatic mission that you failed at? It caused you to go sulk for a week?
I don't think so. I think this was farther back. I think this is something that sat on my conscience for a long time.
Yeah.
How did this affect your relationship with like the rest of your family?
It's been odd. I don't think that I've spoken to anyone other than my parents in some time. I think that much of the family knows me because I'm high profile and doesn't know about the cousin who worked in something that was much more clandestine. And our world is now part of the Empire. So they sort of have a reason to be very in favor of everything involving the Queen.
Yeah. Oh, that cousin? We don't know about them. Nope.
Right. Well, I think maybe they don't. I think I'm the only one that knows exactly everything that was going on. And I think that I can't talk to most of my family about it because it doesn't feel right. I know too much.
Seems like it would be treasonous, or it could be seen as treasonous.
Potentially. And also it's one of those, like, they just go, well, yeah, we haven't heard from that cousin in a long time. Maybe something happened. They were off in, on a war zone. And I was like, yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah. I think that when that operative was executed, I think we never ever saw their face. And I think I'm one of the only ones that did because of my position within the Queen's staff.
I think it's important to note that just because something could be seen as treasonous doesn't mean it is treasonous.
Right. You have to know all the details.
Right. It's very important to know the whole story.
All right.
The Queen knows something about me that no one else does. What is it? I think the Queen knows that I'm actually from the empire of like our main rival.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I don't even know this. I think I was probably found in the aftermath of some conflict and brought into the empire and raised, and I don't think the Queen like kept me close by intentionally, but that's just sort of the path of my life brought me back into her retinue.
Did you take the faith before or after you were brought into the Empire? Is that something you already had, or is it and that presupposes the idea that maybe this faith is shared between both us and our enemies?
I like that. I like that it is something that, at least like in the words that we use and the texts that we read, it is the same. I think the other side probably doesn't believe that the Queen is a divinely appointed.
Right. I was gonna say, there's nobody that hates a religion like another member of us, like another member of the same religion that has a different take on something, right? Like
same but different.
Right. Like nobody feels that sting, the division of beliefs, as much as someone who's just a little off center from where you are.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Nice. Awesome. Is it like genealogically provable? Like if someone had a DNA sample, could they find out that you were from the planets that we were with, or is it just something sealed away that no one will ever know besides the queen?
I don't think it's DNA, but I think there's like a certain kind of radiation that is like
Nice.
something you're exposed to if you grow up in this other empire, like their primary source of power. And
Oh, cool.
maybe it affects how you develop, but yeah. So if there was some sort of analysis could be done,
Yeah,
that would reveal this.
I love that. I love that idea that there's some radiation that under the yellow sun, the House of L has. Cool, awesome, digging it, High Priest. Who is this distant power you're traveling to, and why do they make you uneasy? I think we've depicted a couple different, like, that Lily, you'd mentioned that there's sort of a couple different fronts. And so I want to say that, like, we have a like very opportunistic sort of Gilder-based empire, Gilder-based sort of mercantile driven, commerce-driven enemy that is like trying to like snatch up planets for their value, and that we have sort of a ideological enemy that we cannot stand. They cannot stand the notion that we consider the queen the prophet of our religion because they believe that their leader is and right. So I think we have these two different wars, and I think based on what you said, Lily, based on what makes sense too, is that we're going back to the home of we're going to into the land of these sort of folks who are ideologically opposed to us, which would be your home, Alex, ostensibly. And what makes me uneasy is that I'm really, really used to the queen dealing with people who like trade pawns and negotiate, and that are like, we're at war, but there's also like a shared understand. There's a shared language and understanding and diplomacy as possible. And there's a lot of like, I take X and you take Y, and and these like the lines shift all the time, but they're not, but it's permeable and it's possible to negotiate with them. And that's a lot of our confrontation is with this like empire that's like constantly trying to, anytime we like leave a space unprotected, they snatch it up and we have to go fight for it back. But it's like this back and forth versus this other front where it's just this, they refuse to talk to us and they're just, they hate us. It's not that they want what we have, it's that they hate the notion of our existence. And so we're entering into this ideologically opposed sector of the galaxy, and it makes me uneasy because I think the queen is going to, I think that she's going to have so much patience for them, and then she's going to snap. And her patience seems to have been dwindling recently. Like her time that she's willing to suffer ignorance and foolishness has gotten shorter and shorter. And this is supposed to be a diplomatic mission, and it's just the five of us. And I'm afraid that they're going to push her. And I think they might even know that. I think they might even be savvy enough to know that if they come at her bullheaded and refusing to compromise and refusing to discuss, that she may make a rash decision. And I think the queen might get us into a really, really bad place. Really, really bad fix. Yeah.
Ooh.
World building. Love this game.
So the plans kind of team up with this other enemy to take out the other side.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because we have a faith that we both agree on. We have something that we can bond us together, but I think that something is going to divide us instead.
Awesome.
Right.
Alrighty. The queen gave you a compliment once. What was it, and why have her words stayed with you? I think like soon after I soon after I got the job as her like chef slash like culinary consultant, etc. Like I feel like I've always been confident with my like cooking and like food skills, but not much anything else. And I think she complimented like something else I did. Like I think it was like I wrote something, like maybe it was like a poem. And I wrote it and like during one of the meals I like randomly decided to ask her advice on it, and she said it like she liked the way it flowed or something, and I think just that word of appreciation from her on it like really, really drove me to like keep going and trying things and try to get that appreciation more. And yeah, they stuck with me just because, it was just something that I was like, I had worked on, and obviously I appreciate her, like her opinion on it. So
What happened to this poem? Did you publish it? Is it something you've shared with the world now, or is it still just one of your journals, your diary?
I don't think I did anything with it. I think it was just kind of there, like I probably wrote it down and then got her advice on it, and then like, oh well, I'll work on more, and like maybe I'll put some stuff together, and then just kind of never got around to it.
Worried maybe you could never live up to
that journal under your pillow.
Kind of, yeah. I probably tried something else and like, but what if this one isn't as good as that one? Like, I'll just go cook something. I'm good at cooking stuff.
Macaroni plants.
And have you shared that first poem with anyone else?
I think so. And like I probably got like similar like feedback, like, oh yeah, I like it, it's nice. But like the Queen's compliment was the one that like actually stuck with me.
Yeah.
Just because it's the Queen.
I mean,
come on.
I think if I knew about it, I would encourage you to keep, writing more and sharing more with her, because I feel like the Queen needs more like arts and culture in her life. And she needs like more reasons to believe in the value of, societies and cultures and things like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think if I even if I hadn't read it, even if you hadn't shared it with me, I think I would I might have found out, like, do more, right? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that creates uncomfortable pressure or not, but
I probably definitely could be like convinced to do that. But like, I think it was like ever since I got this job, I've just become a funnel for doing whatever it takes to either get appreciation or push the war. And like, it's become a whole weird selfish cycle thing.
Can't believe you forgot the Macron.
I know.
Forget one
That
macaroon and
crushed-
suddenly you're doing intelligence trading.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Forget one
Right,
plant.
like,
Next thing you
okay,
know,
well, I know I forgot the macaroons, but
We call it gateway mistake.
but I was a
Gateway
spy.
mistake.
Aren't I such a good spy, my queen?
It's a Space Coen Brothers movie.
Spoiler alert, I'm a terrible spy.
Yeah, it's
Yes, that's actually I am absolutely a Coen Brothers character. The chef that tries to be a spy.
Okay. What brings out the queen's kindness?
a few.
Right. Pick something terrible. No, I think
when she's
yeah,
when she is raising whole planets.
airlocking people. I think that the times that we see the queen be the most kind, she responds well to being given what she feels is her due respect and the respect shown towards her empire and her subjects and her position. And I think, in a way, the queen isn't necessarily easily buttered up per se, but will take a decision that seems wise much more smoothly with an appeal to sort of her position or to the well-being of her people. I do think that she does care a lot for her empire on a grand scale. I think that how that plays out is not always neat, but I think that if you're working within her sort of worldview and her hierarchy, I think she's willing to make things happen that other people within her empire may not be able to do or want to do, because she feels like it is the right thing. That does not always make it the right thing from a sort of a micro scale, but I think it's sort of that very heartfelt appeal to her as queen and divine figure. She's just sort of a sucker for it. I don't know if that
Love
came
it.
out the way I wanted, but yeah.
No, I mean, I think the queen considers herself a divine figure.
Fair, yeah. Yeah, I think we've leaned that direction a lot.
Uh-huh. I don't think she can be both all the things that we've said about her and humble.
What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey? I think, and I don't know if this is something the queen has like consciously noticed or subconsciously graded on her, but I feel like I had become sort of like obsequious and like, like, yes, your majesty and all this, to the point where it was starting to like bother her, and feel not genuine.
Do you think she liked it when she got to win a piece of you over? Like, did you think that she enjoyed having that like satisfaction of being like, I won sort of against your will, like I convinced you to do this thing even though you didn't like it, and now that you just give in, it's like the chase is gone or something, or the thrill is gone?
It's not exciting.
I think it's more that it's not exciting in a different way of like that it's like if I'm just agreeing with her all the time and like all this, I'm not bringing anything to the table anymore.
Yeah. Right. You're not as valuable to her. Like, you don't have as many insights if you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that on this journey, and perhaps it's just because this is like seeing more of the galaxy than I have in a long time, instead of being sort of cloistered away, that I have started to have some of my own opinions again. And not like, or that I've started to think critically about things.
Nice.
And I think that she enjoys the return of that sort of dynamic to our relationship.
Awesome. Oh, there's like the real you again. Has she verbalized that or expressed that? Like, do you know that? Does she express that to you in some way? Do you know that she's happy? And do you know why?
Oh, okay. I'm going to actively step away from my very depressing first instinct.
Yay! I encourage you to do that.
I think that sorry, can you just state your question again? I lost it completely.
No, it's fine. You said that you having like regained a little bit more of your own personal feelings and free will and expressing your desires has pleased her, and I wonder how she's shown that, like how you know that, if she said anything to you, or if it's sort of just a smile that she gave, or what signs do we see that she's sort of pleased by that, or are there none at all? Is it just a true thing, but she doesn't let that on to any of us?
I don't think she's shown me in any way. Perhaps out of a concern that would reestablish this pattern of like just seeking her approval.
Yeah.
But I think she's talked to you about it. Just made comments about how I seem to this seems to be really good for me. Seems to be reinvigorating my intellectual interest or for her or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think you know.
Yeah. What pronouns does your character use?
I'm gonna go with she, her.
Cool. I'll be like, yeah, she keeps talking like that, you might airlock her.
Do you?
Never. I say that to the other attendants.
Right, of course.
No, wait, we're alone. There's nothing but us.
Right.
Yeah.
You tell the chef.
I tell the chef, I'm like, yeah, this is great. She keeps talking like that. They hardly consider locked. In a convivial and like, yeah, isn't it great way?
Just joshing.
Right. It's like a hug
From space.
That's
from space.
A stentorious hug. Right. We might be getting close here.
Oh. I feel like this just becomes a before or after question for you almost.
Well, I have sort of I never like to answer, one question with a sort of the same thing. It's like, well, that thing.
Sure.
If that's the case, I'll either exit or I'll pass it so that someone else could do it. But when did you know you would never forgive the queen, and why? I think that how would I never forgive the queen? Man, I'm bad at this game. It's hard for me to imagine this. I'm gonna X this card. I am pressing the X card.
Okay.
I don't think forgiveness is a thing that enters into my mind with the queen. So Oh, there we go. That's
Ooh.
terrible and great. I love it. The queen sometimes shows interest in your personal life. How do you respond to that and why? Yeah, I think that normally before we went on this journey, I spent a lot of time alone with the queen, sort of tending to her, and she would be, she has like a million things on her mind. One might imagine that she is of a higher sort of plane of intellect than even the rest of us, and that she can process so many things at once. The world's spinning, and all these details in the entire galaxy, and she seems at least to be able to keep all of them straight. And so I would imagine I couldn't handle a fraction of the decisions that she has to make. And I would imagine that they would just keep her totally occupied all the time. And yet she has asked me the most trivial questions, like where did you go for your sister's birthday? And did you see that guy again? He seemed nice. It just totally, it's not like she needed a spy network to know these things about me. They're not like private things, but every time she does it, it throws me off. It's just like, how in the 9,000 calculations and decisions that you're making right now, could that ever enter your radar? And I feel like it's her attempt to be human, and she's terrible at it. She's like, it's not like she's like a robot. It's just so like, I feel like she just wants to I feel like it's that like, oh, I had a reminder to act human again. Okay, I'm gonna do the human things that people do and ask
Spirit
questions.
ask my attendant about their day.
Yeah, right.
My computer has pinged. I should ask you a question.
Right, exactly. And so I think I stutter and stammer. I think I'm normally very eloquent and very I'm kept by her side because I can give quick answers. I mean, I'm attendant in like a physical way, but also like in a secretarial, I think I can provide her a lot of information very quickly. And that always throws me off. And I'm always like, it's like our conversation goes from like really comfortable and like really comfortable and like fast paced, and like we seem like friendly to one another, to just super awkward and be like, fine. It was fine. It was very fine. It was a nice date. He was fine. We're all fine. I'm fine. Are you fine? It's just like super awkward. And since we've been on this journey, she's been doing it more, and it's just making me want to avoid her. And it's like making it really uncomfortable because I'm supposed to be at her side all the time, and I'm just like keep finding reasons to like go gab with the cook about things that the high priest have done, because it's just it's I don't know why. Maybe she's nervous. I don't know what sets it off, but yeah. So I get awkward and uncomfortable, and so does the conversation.
Great, good.
I mean, at least she's making the effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I give her a C- for effort. Or as a good friend says, I give you an F+. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The queen touched you once.
You keep getting this one time.
What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? I think it was the first time I cooked for her. And it was the thing that like really sealed me into like, oh, I've got to do whatever I can to make her say that I did a good job. I think I was like, I was preparing the meal like in front of her, just to as like, since it was like the first time, it was kind of like a show her how I work kind of thing. And she was like close by and watching, and I was like chopping something up, and I was nervous. I was like doing my thing, but I was like nervous because you're cooking in front of the queen. It was a whole thing. And I cut myself with a knife, and she she took my hand, and with whatever weird space stuff she does, she like wiped, and my wound was gone.
Whoa.
And I think just that feeling of it, like, I imagine it had like some sort of like weird tingling or something, like, and just that feeling like is just, that's gonna be there forever.
Oh, you still feel the tingling of it.
Oh yeah, like it. I don't know if it's it's probably in my head or whatever, but like just like I always like remember. It's a very very like vivid memory. That
Question: do people know that she has healing powers?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Because if so, I have an objection to this action going on right here.
that was a lesson.
Do you want the forgiveness card back, Sean?
Yeah. There we go. Now I know. Walking around, bloodshot eyes, and nonstop migraines.
Once you learn your lesson, you'll get your eyes healed.
Yeah. I like it.
Boy.
Become a much more snarky attendant to.
So do we know, or is this a quiet manifestation of her divine self? Or were you just not actually cut that bad and you had no idea?
I probably wasn't even actually cut that bad. Like in real life, it probably wasn't even that much of a thing. And it was probably like a little tiny divine thing. But over the years and in my head, I gashed my hand, and she just like,
You halfway cut your arm off, yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole in my head. It played out completely differently.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't think it's probably not a common thing, and she probably doesn't have like, I can bring some people back from the dead or whatever. It was probably just like a little weird divine space thing that she did. But like, if you were to come up and be like, hey, so like, can the queen heal people? I'd just be like, oh yeah, you can get shot by a cannon, and she just like snap her fingers and you just come back. It's amazing.
So since we've established that we gossip together, I have a real beef with her that I'm sure.
Because as far as you know, just like entire legions pulled from the dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's like,
yes. Yeah. If it has ever come up, I've bragged about her ability to like heal anything, and you're sitting there like angry with bloodshot eyes.
Yeah. Liking it. Love it.
Right. And of course I soak it up, like, because I'm awful.
Because you feel so special that you got healed and other people.
Right. I feel so special that she wiped blood off my hand with a napkin or whatever she actually did. But
oh, okay.
Oh damn.
The queen is not your queen. Why do you serve her anyway? I'm from a world that was annexed. I serve the queen because she, in my mind at least, she found me a place. I think there's a couple things. I think that I have grown to subscribe to the faith that she holds. I think that I'm perhaps different from some, and I think that some of the encounters that I've had with our religious representative, because I don't know that we've picked a title for you, Alex. I think that some of the encounters that I've had have involved sort of engaging philosophical debates about my perspective on it as an outsider, but like as an outsider believer versus somebody who's grown up in it, sort of held to those tenets.
Is that how you two got together? Or was it those like late night philosophical discussions during your travels that
I think those are important. I think that that's a huge part of what I value about the many-faceted nature of our relationship. I think the reason that I serve the Queen is a lot of this belief that I've grown to have in the religion has come because of her, not as opposed to the other way around. I don't think that I've come to see her a certain way because of the religion. I think I've come to see the religion a certain way because of the Queen. I think that the Queen put me into a position to be able to do something where I feel like I'm doing good until lately. But anyway, to feel like I'm helping avert conflicts by providing this alternate method of joining the Empire to this sort of well, you know, the other hand is a closed fist, but I'm extending this hand to you right now, and I want you to know that we want this to go well for everyone, particularly you, but also everyone. And I think that the sense of purpose and importance that that's given me. There was a ruler on my planet once. There probably still is. Whether or not they're a figurehead or regional now, I don't know. But I serve the Queen, and it's it's that outsider looking in becomes insider looking out sort of journey that I think I've gone on.
Nice.
Is there like an official like ceremony for converting? If so, tell me about it.
I think there is, and I think I haven't done it. And I think that's something that we debate about. I think that the ceremony involves, it's like a long pledge, and there's a lot of memorization. I think there's a lot of like vows to adhere to the tenets. I think there's a lot of praising the Queen, and like I'm down with that part, but like a lot of the rest of it, just it's still, you've always kind of tried to push me to take that last step to just like really commit. And I've always sort of had that hold on the culture that I came from because I grew up in it. I didn't like, you know, get snatched out of it at the age of none. I think there's a lot of cultural conflict that I have around it where it's like I want to, but there's also something very important about where I'm from, and I can't walk that journey neatly.
So you're saying you can't give up or erase a part of your essential character or nature just for the Queen.
like it seems like from everything you see from the outside, the Queen should be enough reason for me to toss away that piece of my identity and just go in just wholeheartedly, and it just isn't happening. There's unfinished business or something like that.
I don't know how you can say you love her, but obviously, clearly you do.
She's compelling.
She is that.
Excuse me, let me get that card out.
Cool.
There it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Under attack.
It is time.
All right. So Alex, you'll answer that, and we'll go around, and we'll all answer the game. I'll answer it, and that'll be the game.
Am I allowed to embellish somewhat?
Oh yeah. I mean, okay. Yes.
I mean, that's absolutely what the whole game is, but like
yes, exactly. Pretty much.
I have a follow-up question about your fight.
So I actually think what happens is that the ambush takes place and it gets a little harrowing, but we sort of, it never really reaches the queen. We take care of it. But it's then in the aftermath of that where we're like, okay, we're safe now. That I think something happens. And I think that the attack is taking place on multiple fronts, including on, the weird metaphysical divine aspect of it. And I absolutely defend her. And I think that the reason, part of the reason I am able to do that is because of finding pieces of myself again. Because if I was just so totally subsumed like under her identity, that I would have just been like, no, she is fine. She'll be able to take care of it herself because she's appointed by God. But I think but I think that it is these ever so slight doubts that I've been developing that allows me to see that she does in fact need me.
She needs us. One might almost say that she needs all of us to defend her in order to get through this journey, which is a real bummer because I run the heck away.
Oh,
Dude.
No way. Yeah, no. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Alex. Were you?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, I love her and like she's the best. But also
it's me.
I think she pushes people too far. I think she keeps wanting to see greater and greater signs of loyalty. And when I know that she has the power to heal and refuses to use it, when I know that she's purposely keeping things from me, I'm drawn to her like a force of gravity, but I think I'm drawn to her like a person in a bad relationship that needs to get out of it. And I think this is the sign that I need to get out of it. And yeah, so it's gonna hear. Yeah. And I think there's, I imagine the scene where it's like we see out the big windows to the ships that are on either side of us, and there's the Gilder ships on one side, and there's the religious enemy ships with their holy symbol inscribed on the belly of their ship on the other, and we're caught in this sort of pincer attack that the cook arranged. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, we need to get the heck out of here. This was a mistake. This was not a tactical plan. You made an error. And if you want to survive, you and I are going to take that next escape pod. And I am, and if you don't come, I'm going alone. There's room for two, but it'll fly just fine with just me.
And you do end up going alone because I go back to protect the queen.
Mm-hmm. And do you let her know that this is your fault? That you arranged this ambush?
Well, let's not be hasty.
There'll be time for that later.
Yeah, there probably at some level there definitely is a, oh shit, this went horribly wrong. And I need to at least be there to not run. I couldn't live with myself if I ran away at this point, I think, since this is my fault. And so I think that's what it is, just like a last stand, however it ends, to defend the queen. If I live, I will confess, and whatever judgment she sees fit, whatever I shall take. But yeah, I couldn't leave and live with myself if I didn't stay and protect her.
You can lead a horse to water.
You tried.
Try.
I think after we've dealt with the first ambush, I think I go back to to my chambers for a moment, and that moment is just long enough for everything else to start happening. I think that as I'm making my way back, I think that we're infiltrated by one of the guilders, who I think tells me that not everything is as it seems, and is able to can X this if you want, but I think is able to reveal the true origin of my erstwhile lover, that where they're really from, and sort of points out the ways in which they think the queen has failed my people. And is just kind of like trying to drive it home with this, like, you know, what you don't know. And
that you have enough seeds of doubt already that that their arguments take hold.
They they see me as they see me as the obvious weakest link, I guess. Sort of like, you know, the queen's had continuing frustration, and there's dirt, and sort of like, you know, you're never going to make your way back into her good graces. Like, just give this one up. And I think that I defend the queen anyway. I think that I'm in this place where I feel like I am still sort of held to, you know, I'm doing the thing that I am supposed to be doing, and therefore, and I think that I think I airlock the operative, and then I go and I think I go to defend the queen.
Yes, it wasn't me.
Full circle.
All right. Through space. Oh, so good.
Space hug.
Space hug. He who is pale got it right. Someone's getting airlocked. You get it.
Everybody gets an airlock.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank all of you. That was so great. I love that. I love this game.
Everybody.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was fun.
So good. I love this game so much.
So serious and so ridiculous at the same time.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out with the chat. It's been great talking with all of you. I am Sean Nittner. I am the host, one of the hosts of Actual Play, and I'm going to be back in 2 days at the same time, running another game with a whole new cast, a whole new queen, and we'll see what that is like. So if you like this and you want more of it, come back. Tell your friends. It should be good times. Then we'll do it again next Monday and next Wednesday as well. So we have 4 games altogether. I'm super excited about that. Otherwise, as we're moving to the new year, Evil Hat's got lots of cool things going on. We're having the Big Bad Con planning meeting. Lots of stuff on my plate that I'm excited about. Talk about, I'm sure, in future streams. So you can find me anywhere at Sean Nittner, and yeah. Oh, and I use he him pronouns. So cool. How about you, Lily? Where can folks find you on the internets? What are you up to?
Yeah. I am Lily. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. I am definitely gonna try to play this game more and look into when it's coming out and stuff. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me on. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Lilypad Nebula. Website lilypadnebula.com. I do game stuff, streamy stuff, webby stuff, lots of stuff. Stuff for everybody. It's all there. And yeah, I use she, her pronouns. And thanks again. I hope you all have a great night. Over to Ben.
Hi, my name is Ben Lee. I use he, him pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at Fried Duck. But it's been a while since I've gotten to do a lot of online stuff. So this is a really fun opportunity to do some to be involved in the gaming online community. There's a lot of really cool actual play stuff out there. While I don't have anything to plug right now, I, like a few of us, are from the Bay Area. And so if you are so inclined to have something get plugged by an online streamer, please check out any of the various ways that you can help donate to Victims of the Campfire. There's a lot of awful that has come out of that, and it's really great to see there are a lot of people who are putting a lot of hope back into it as well. So that's my plug for the day, because I don't have any of my own stuff I'm working on, so help someone else. Thanks.
Thank you, man.
And Alex?
Yeah, I am Alex McConaughey, they, them pronouns. I am most active on Twitter, so you can check out @Transistence. I've been working on like a design retrospective to like go through my previous designs over there as I move into some more ambitious projects. But for the time being, I guess I would most like to plug the Behind the Mask zine. That's mask spelled MASC. It's available on itch.io, offered by Bree Sheldon. I designed a Monster Heart skin for that, but the whole zine is about people, non-cisgender, mask-identified creators, designing things that explore their thoughts on masculinity. And I think there's some really important stuff in there about healthy or positive masculinity, and the ways that can be used by people who've done a lot of thinking about it.
Yeah, I absolutely want to second that. If you don't already have, I just put a link to it. If you don't already have Behind the Mask, there is really, really great stuff in there. Tomes, just to point out the Minotaur, so much other good things. And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Support that. It's good stuff. Cool. Thank you all. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us in chat. It has been fantastic seeing all of you here and talking with folks. There was one time where I was torn between reading chat, which is saying interesting things, and people saying interesting things, which is bad, but good. I don't know.
It's worst possible situation.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again pretty soon. So good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.